Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Malvika and welcome back to the IMG Marvels YouTube page. As soon as you know where you're going, or if you're joining training or not, or whatever it is, there are normally loads of Facebook groups. So we had a foundation year one, whatever, 2021 or whatever the years were, a specific group for my trust. And it was really, really helpful. People were talking about it. People were talking about roommates and housing and lots of things on there, and how they were preparing and just having introductions, and people were having meetups. So that's a really great place to meet new people that you will be working with. There's also a lot of IMG specific WhatsApp groups and WhatsApp groups of your trust. So if you get contacted by someone in HR or someone for induction, just ask them if they know of any groups and that if you can be added to them. And they make life very easy because everyone's starting afresh, everyone's new, everyone's lost, and we can just help each other. Another great resource is the Junior Doctors thread on Reddit. It's a UK specific thread for junior doctors of all grades, trust grade or training, registrar and foundation year one. So that's a great resource. You can read about different things there. You can read about the jobs and the problems and there's a big community on there of junior doctors, so you will kind of get a nice introduction into what it's like to be a doctor in the UK and what issues can come up and like how people solve them. There's also some different websites that have different reviews of hospitals and different departments, and it's specifically by junior doctors, so that's also really helpful just to kind of read up about it and know what you're getting into. There's a few things that you'll have to make sure as an IMG that you specifically get. So all of the UK graduates who are going to start F1 or whatever job it is, they've been in the NHS system for a very long time because they have done all of their medical school rotations in NHS, and they're kind of more aware of the system than you are. But as an IMG, you should have a specific IMG shadowing period. Make sure that you get that. Ask your trust specifically for that IMG shadowing period because it is very important. Also, as an F1, if you're an IMG, you're probably someone who hasn't given the PSA or hasn't passed the PSA. And at that point, it is very important that you let them know really early that you have not passed the PSA and you cannot be on call alone, because you can't prescribe anything without that exam. Some trusts have local exams that you can give and then prescribe in the trust on its own, and then the PSA can happen later and you can prescribe later nationwide. But so what we did, like my trust, I joined in December. I wasn't on call for at least a month or two till I cleared the UHL, the University Hospital of Leicester's own prescribing exam. And then I was always on call with someone else for the first few times because I didn't really know what was happening, what was meant to be done by me on call. And they made sure that I was very comfortable on my on-calls. I was comfortable alone. I knew exactly what to do. I knew who to call in problems. And I could prescribe by the time that I was on call alone. A lot of places don't have a prescribing exam of their own, like a local trust one. You have to pass the PSA. So let them know that you cannot be on call and you cannot prescribe in the meantime. So you should not be left alone out of hours, okay? And it's very important that you let the Rota coordinators know early, because some of you will get your Rota and be on call on the first day. Like you'll be on nights on the first day and you're the only one in the hospital. It is very possible. So just make sure people know early and they're able to accommodate for that. Another important thing is that to make sure that you have the ALS and that your ALS is valid, because I think to be on call in a lot of places you need a valid ALS. You can't hold a cardiac arrest bleep without having a valid ALS. ACLS is not valid in a lot of trusts. So if you're an F1, you probably will get in without showing them valid ALS, and you'll have to come to the UK and do either a trust ALS, which only works locally and covers you locally, or you'll have to do the Research Council official ALS. But make sure that, again, you flag these things up early and make sure that you know them early, so that you're covered from all points of view. The last thing I'd like to cover in this video would be the people that are the most important to know and know how to contact. One of them will always be your HR manager, so make sure in the start of the process that you keep them updated with everything. Another person would be your JDA, which is the Junior Doctor Administrator. They will be the person who takes care of all the junior doctors doing that specific rotation, let's say cardiology or general surgery or whatever it is. Those people take care of a rota as well a lot of the times, but they need to know that you are unavailable or you are not able to do anything or you don't have the clearances to do something. They need to know early on. The next person would be the Rota Coordinator. The Rota Coordinator is the person who makes the rota. Sometimes it's the JDAs, sometimes it's a registrar or a consultant. So they should always know where to put you in the rota and where the gaps are so that they can fill them. Next person would be your clinical supervisor. Your clinical supervisor is a person that is allotted to you when you get into a rotation. They are a senior doctor, normally a consultant, who will take care of your educational development in that specific rotation and in that specific environment. So they're the kind of people to go with some problems, or if you're being bullied, or if you're not understanding anything, or if you're struggling, if you need audits or QI projects or whatever it is. They'll help you talk about your portfolio, talk about your development, and help you make the most of that specific rotation. They'll also be great to go to with problems that you're having with the rotation. The next person on top of that is the educational supervisor. Now, this is normally one person that you get who will take care of your education overall and make sure that you are on track to pass the ARCP or pass the year in your training. They are normally assigned to you for the entire year, regardless of your rotation. So they're a really nice person to go back to again and again, and they kind of see you grow. Again, any educational problems you have, any development, any audits or whatever you want to do, anything you want to troubleshoot, they are your person. They're also really good with support if you're struggling at work, if you need support for burnout or bullying or whatever it is. They are a good person to escalate to. They are one step above your clinical supervisor. So if the clinical supervisor can't solve the issue, you might want to go to your educational supervisor. The other person that I would say you should know, especially if you're in the foundation program, is your FTPD, which is your Foundation Training Program Director. This is the top gun who is taking care of you. My Foundation Trainer Program Director in F1 was incredible. I've never met her, but she sorted me out virtually, even before I'd gotten to the UK. If I had any problems that weren't being solved on a more lower level of hierarchy, I would escalate to her and she would get everything sorted. She was absolutely brilliant. She was such a brick for me, and she really helped me, especially being out of sync. Those kind of people are really important, and they're more higher up and senior doctors as well in the hierarchy of the hospital, so they can pull strings and talk to more senior managerial people. So your FTPD is an important person to know and to have a good relationship with. And then otherwise, there might be a local line manager that you might be able to go to. You can always turn to your seniors, your registrar, your consultants. And if you feel unsafe turning to anyone, there is normally people that are discussed in your induction, in your trust induction, that you can always go to with issues. So for us, it's the Freedom to Speak Up Guardian. If there's any problem that you can't really discuss with other people and you're struggling, you're being bullied or whatever it is, you can always go to the Freedom to Speak Up Guardian, and they will try and solve the issue and help you. If you're also struggling with things like burnout, or you're struggling psychologically or mentally at work, or physically at work, you can also go to your GP. So register at the GP when you get to the UK. Finally, if you want any advice on any of these things, you can message us on our Instagram page, IMG Marvels. We are the most active on there, although we do have a Facebook and a Gmail. But working full-time jobs is very difficult to keep answering all the questions, so we do try our best to get to them as soon as possible. But you can contact us if you have any problem at all, if you have any questions. Also leave questions down in the comments of this video so that I can answer them and you can help other people as well who are scrolling through the comment section. And the next video will be on housing and how to decide a house and all of the, you know, administrative tips and bits that come with renting or buying your first house in the UK. All right, take care. See you guys in the next video.